Hi, it's K-Ape. It's the year end, and while the markets look like they're cooling off a bit, we've got a few macro headlines to keep an eye on. I'll be covering all of that in today's video. Man, the US market was a total roller coaster today, wasn't it? The overall vibe was pretty rough. Our favorites, Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, even Oracle, they all took a hit. But amidst all that red, there was one stock enjoying a beautiful spring day, and that's Micron. It's basically proof of what I've been calling the spring of memory semiconductors. What's interesting is that while big tech dipped, the broader market saw stocks catching a bid, a classic sign of sector rotation. But honestly, the real story today wasn't in stocks, it was over in the commodities tent. The news that really rattled the market today was shocking. Ukraine reportedly targeted President Putin's residence with drones. We've seen Ukraine hitting deep into Russian territory lately, but aiming directly at the Kremlin or Putin's private quarters? That's a whole different ballgame. It's sparking major fears of a massive Russian retaliation. And look, even with President Trump pushing for a ceasefire, the situation on the ground feels like a final all-out offensive, maybe to grab leverage before hitting the negotiating table. This pushed oil prices up, but strangely, we didn't see a flight to safety in precious metals. In fact, we saw the exact opposite, a total meltdown. Today's real drama was right here. Precious metals, which seemed unstoppable, just hit a massive wall. Platinum, in particular, saw a terrifying crash, dropping nearly 14% in a single day. But there's a wild behind-the-scenes story here. Word on the street is that a major European investment bank got caught in a massive silver short position. They bet big on silver falling, but when prices spiked, they got margin called and forced to liquidate. This triggered a short squeeze as they scrambled to buy back silver, sending prices to irrational highs. The final blow came when the CME hiked margin requirements. Like they say, no asset goes up in a straight line. It was just exhaustion. But Wells Fargo's Paul Christopher says, this is just year-end profit-taking. The trend isn't dead. He sees a buying opportunity if gold dips toward the $3,800 to $3,900 range. Now let's talk politics. President Trump is turning up the heat on the Fed. During a joint press conference with Netanyahu, he dropped a bombshell. He's considering suing Chairman Jerome Powell. The reason? It's kind of wild. He's claiming the renovation costs for the Fed's headquarters were way too high for a building that doesn't even look good. He's calling it gross incompetence. Powell fired back, saying the project was board approved way back in 2017. But we all know Trump's real game. He's not waiting until May. He wants Powell to pack his bags now. Looking at Polymarket, the frontrunners for the seat are Scott Bessent at 45%, Kevin Warsh at 32%, and Christopher Waller at 11%. Whoever gets it, you can bet they'll be way more dovish on cutting rates than what we have now. This might be the most mind-blowing part of the day. Recent Census Bureau data showed that the immigrant population aged 16 and over plummeted by 1.86 million this year. This sent everyone into a stagflation panic, fearing a labor shortage would send prices through the roof. But the St. Louis Fed just debunked the whole thing. They basically said, the data is wrong. Turns out, the response rate from non-citizens dropped by 16.6%. People were basically too scared of Trump's hardline policies to answer the survey, so it looked like they vanished. Cross-checks show the real decrease was only between 123,000 and 627,000. This means the shock to the labor market is minimal, and that stagflation fear from wage push inflation, yeah, you can probably let that go now. One last bit of good news. Apollo's latest research shows that foreign investors bought way more US stocks this year than last. Despite all the talk of martial law or lawsuits, the global smart money has reached a verdict. The US market is still the safest place to be. I hope you found today's update helpful. The stock market is about to open. If I make any trades today, I'll share them on my channel's community board between 8 and 9 a.m. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with more insights. Thanks for watching.